Admiral Kira Patel stood at the observation deck of Luna Base Alpha, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the latest quantum probe data. The massive screen cast a blue glow across her weathered face, highlighting 3 decades of service to humanity's space force. Behind her, Director Marcus Blackwood of Earth Intelligence approached silently, his footsteps absorbed by the deck's smart material flooring. "They've been watching us all along," Kira said without turning. "Every breakthrough, every setback, every triumph, all carefully orchestrated by the Galactic Alliance." The hologram shifted to show a network of cloaked satellites that had orbited Earth for centuries. These weren't just observation posts, they were active inhibitors, subtly manipulating Earth's technological progress through targeted electromagnetic interference and quantum field disruption. "The data is irrefutable," Marcus replied, his voice carrying the weight of the discovery. "Our quantum probes detected their network last month. They've been deliberately keeping us at a pre-FTL level of development. The question is, why?" Kira finally turned, her expression hardening. "Control. The Alliance doesn't want competition. They've done this to countless civilizations across the galaxy. Most never break free of their artificial constraints." The room's ambient lighting adjusted automatically as Marcus brought up another hologram, this one showing the remains of dead civilizations, species that had been permanently stunted or destroyed by Alliance intervention. Lieutenant Commander Reza found something interesting in the decoded Alliance protocols, Marcus continued, manipulating the hologram to show a complex stream of data. "They never expected us to develop quantum computing through biological interfaces. Our neural quantum hybrid systems completely bypassed their suppression grid." A slight smile crossed Kira's face. "Human ingenuity. We solved problems they never anticipated because they couldn't imagine our approach. We didn't follow their predetermined technological path." The discovery had come 3 months ago when the first quantum probe detected anomalous energy signatures around Earth. Humanity had believed itself alone in the galaxy, struggling to overcome seemingly insurmountable technological hurdles. The truth was far more sinister. "The Alliance Council is meeting next week," Marcus said, pulling up diplomatic communications intercepted by Earth's new quantum array. "They're concerned about our recent advances in neural interfacing and quantum mechanics. They're planning to send a diplomatic delegation to officially welcome Earth into the galactic community. To assess whether we've broken free of their controls," Kira corrected. "Have you shown this to the Defense Council?" Marcus nodded. "This morning. Project Helios has been given full authorization. Admiral, they want you to lead it." Kira's eyes widened slightly. Project Helios was humanity's contingency plan against hostile alien contact, a revolutionary weapons development program that combined neural quantum technology with advances in dark matter manipulation. It would give Earth unprecedented military capabilities, but at an enormous resource cost. "The Alliance has controlled galactic development for over 10,000 years, Marcus continued. They've eliminated or subjugated any civilization that might challenge their authority. But they've never encountered anything like us." Kira walked to another display, bringing up the schematics for humanity's first true warship. "The Hyperion will be ready in 8 months. We're implementing technologies the Alliance doesn't even theoretically understand. Neural quantum cores, dark matter manipulation drives, consciousness-linked weapon systems. Can we stay hidden that long? We'll have to. Their suppression grid works both ways, it's been masking our recent advances from their long-range sensors. They have no idea what we've achieved since breaking through their technological barriers." The room fell silent as both leaders contemplated the magnitude of what they were undertaking. Humanity had spent centuries looking to the stars, dreaming of contact with alien civilizations. Now they knew the truth: the galaxy was governed by an oligarchy that systematically suppressed emerging civilizations. "Begin full mobilization," Kira ordered, her voice carrying the authority of her new position. I want all quantum shipyards at maximum capacity. Accelerate the neural interface training programs. And Marcus. She paused, looking at her old friend, activate the deep space quantum array. It's time we got a complete picture of what we're facing. As Marcus left to implement her orders, Kira returned her gaze to Earth, gleaming blue and white below. The Alliance had spent centuries ensuring humanity remained confined to its cradle, never suspecting that their actions would forge humanity into something unprecedented, a species that had overcome not just natural obstacles, but artificial ones designed specifically to prevent their advancement. They wanted to keep us weak, she whispered to herself. Instead, they made us stronger than they could possibly imagine. The next 8 months would determine the fate not just of humanity, but of countless suppressed civilizations across the galaxy. Earth would either break the Alliance's grip on galactic development or become another dead world in their collection of failed experiments. The game was about to begin, and humanity was playing for keeps. The quantum forge beneath Olympus Mons pulsed with energy as the final components of the Hyperion's neural core came online. Commander James Okonjo floated in the installation's zero-gravity assembly chamber, his neural interface providing real-time data from thousands of sensors across the massive vessel's skeleton. Neural quantum synchronization at 99.8%, reported Dr. Yuki Tanaka, her holographic presence flickering beside him. The dark matter containment fields are stable. We've achieved something they said was impossible, James. The Hyperion wasn't just a warship, it was humanity's masterpiece. 3 kilometers of advanced technology merged with human consciousness through a network of quantum processors modeled on the human brain. Its hull, composed of self-repairing metamaterials, could adapt to any form of attack. But its true power lay in its core, a dark matter reactor controlled directly by human thought. The Alliance's latest scan passed through 10 minutes ago, James said, his neural interface showing him the data. Their suppression grid still masks our activities. They have no idea we've built something this large right under their noses. The vessel's internal systems hummed to life, resonating with the quantum frequencies of its crew's neural patterns. Unlike traditional ships, the Hyperion was as much a living entity as a machine, its systems integrated with human consciousness at the deepest level. Admiral Patel is waiting in the command center, Yuki announced. The Defense Council wants a full demonstration before we proceed with Phase 2. James navigated through the ship's arterial corridors, passing crews performing final system checks. Each crew member wore next-generation neural interfaces, allowing them to communicate with the ship and each other at the speed of thought. The Alliance's primitive quantum technology couldn't even detect these communications, let alone understand them. The command center occupied the heart of the vessel, a spherical chamber where physical controls were redundant. Admiral Patel stood in its center, her neural interface showing her every aspect of the ship's operations simultaneously. Commander, she acknowledged as James entered. Is she ready? More than ready, he replied. The neural quantum core is operating beyond projected parameters. Dark matter containment is stable, and the consciousness-linked weapons systems are online. We can deploy at any time. Kira's expression remained stern. The Alliance diplomatic vessel enters the solar system in 6 hours. They're expecting to find a primitive civilization struggling with basic space flight. Instead, they'll find us waiting. The plan was audacious. Rather than hide their breakthrough, humanity would demonstrate its power in a way the Alliance couldn't ignore, or counter. The Hyperion would reveal itself during the diplomatic mission, showing the Alliance that their control over Earth had failed completely. Director Blackwood's intelligence suggests they're bringing scanning technology to assess our development level, Kira continued. They suspect we might have broken through some of their barriers, but they're expecting minimal progress. The quantum suppression grid has made them complacent. James accessed the tactical displays through his neural link. The dark matter drive remains undetectable to their sensors. We can be at the diplomatic rendezvous point in seconds once they arrive. Our response must be precise, Kira emphasized. Too aggressive, and they'll call in their full fleet before we're ready. Too passive, and they won't take us seriously. We need to demonstrate power while maintaining strategic advantage. The room's holographic space filled with tactical projections as they reviewed the plan. The Alliance vessel would be surrounded before they realized what was happening. Their sensors would be overwhelmed by technology they couldn't comprehend, and their weapons would be useless against the Hyperion's adaptive hull. Dr. Tanaka, Kira called, and Yuki's hologram appeared. Begin final preparations. I want every system at full capacity when they arrive. Commander Okonjo, prepare the Neural Link crew for immediate deployment. It's time to show the Alliance exactly what humanity is capable of. As the hours counted down, James felt the ship's consciousness merging more deeply with its crew. The Hyperion wasn't just a vessel, it was humanity's declaration of independence from Alliance control. Every system, every weapon, every defense had been designed to counter technologies the Alliance had used to suppress civilizations for millennia. Multiple quantum signatures detected at system edge, announced the sensor officer. Alliance diplomatic vessel approaching on predicted vector. Kira's expression hardened. Begin Operation Prometheus. Let's introduce ourselves properly to our galactic overlords. The Hyperion's dark matter drive engaged silently, moving the massive vessel through space in ways that defied conventional physics. As they approached the rendezvous point, James felt the weapon systems charging, their power contained by fields of consciousness-shaped energy. The Alliance was about to learn that their greatest mistake wasn't trying to suppress humanity, it was giving humanity a reason to exceed every limitation they tried to impose. All systems ready, James reported. The Alliance vessel will be in range in 30 seconds. Kira nodded, her neural interface showing her the positions of every ship and sensor in the solar system. Send the greeting we prepared. Let's show them what happens when you try to cage humanity. The Hyperion emerged from its quantum-shifted state directly in front of the Alliance vessel, its massive form dwarfing the alien ship. Before the Alliance diplomats could react, they would find themselves facing the product of their own hubris, a humanity that had not just broken free of their constraints but had surpassed them in ways they couldn't imagine. The game of galactic dominance was about to change forever. The Alliance diplomatic vessel Eternal Wisdom hung motionless in space, its crew frozen in shock as they beheld the Hyperion. High Ambassador Zental's 4 eyes widened as sensor data flooded his neural implants, data that shouldn't have been possible from a civilization that was supposed to be centuries away from true spaceflight. Impossible, he whispered in his native tongue. Their suppression grid, our monitors showed no sign of this level of advancement. The human vessel before them defied everything the Alliance knew about technological progression. Its hull absorbed scanning beams without reflection, its power signature was unlike anything in the Alliance database, and its sheer size spoke of engineering capabilities that should have been far beyond Earth's reach. Greetings, representatives of the Galactic Alliance, Admiral Patel's voice came through on all frequencies, translated perfectly into every known galactic language. We appreciate your decision to finally acknowledge humanity's existence. Though perhaps not in the way you intended. Inside the Hyperion's command sphere, James watched through the ship's quantum sensors as panic spread through the Alliance vessel. Their crew scrambled to make sense of readings that contradicted centuries of careful observation and control. Admiral, James reported, they're attempting to activate their quantum beacon. Trying to signal their defense fleet. Kira smiled slightly. Demonstrate our capabilities, Commander. Protocol 3. The Hyperion's consciousness-linked weapons came alive, not with destructive force, but with precise control. A focused beam of dark matter energy enveloped the Alliance ship, instantly neutralizing its quantum communications array. The alien vessel's engines flared as they attempted to retreat, but found themselves held in place by forces their science couldn't explain. That won't be necessary, Ambassador Zental, Kira continued. We have much to discuss about the Alliance's long-standing policy of technological suppression. Your ship will remain here until our conversation is complete. On the Alliance vessel's bridge, Zental fought to maintain diplomatic composure. You cannot understand what you're interfering with. The Alliance maintains order. We prevent the chaos of unrestricted technological advancement. By stunting the growth of entire civilizations? Kira's voice carried an edge of steel. By deliberately sabotaging species that show too much promise? We've decoded your suppression protocols, Ambassador. We know exactly what the Alliance has been doing. Through the neural interface, James felt the Hyperion systems anticipate and counter every attempt by the Alliance vessel to regain control. Their weapons remained powered down. They had already realized the futility of conventional attacks against the human ship's adaptive hull. Director Blackwood's team has finished their scan, James reported to Kira. The Alliance vessel's database confirms everything. They've been manipulating civilizations across 3 spiral arms of the galaxy. Thousands of species, deliberately held back or eliminated. Kira's expression hardened. Share the data, full broadcast. Let them know we can access their systems at will. The Alliance crew watched in horror as their most classified files appeared on their own screens. Centuries of careful manipulation laid bare, their strategies for controlling species development exposed for all to see. This is your only warning, Kira addressed the Ambassador. The Alliance's policy of suppression ends today. We've already located and neutralized every control device in Earth's solar system. Your ability to manipulate our development is over. You don't understand the consequences, Zental protested. Unrestricted advancement leads to chaos, to war, to the destruction of entire sectors. We maintain stability. No, Kira countered, you maintain control. And now you've lost it. Commander, show them what happens when humanity advances without their artificial limitations. James activated the Hyperion's secondary systems. Around the Alliance vessel, space itself seemed to ripple as human quantum technology demonstrated its superiority. Their sensors detected similar ripples near every major Alliance monitoring station in the sector, more human ships, revealing themselves in a carefully choreographed display of force. You have a choice, Ambassador, Kira continued. Return to your council with our terms for a new relationship between humanity and the Alliance, or... She paused, letting the implications of humanity's technological superiority sink in, face the consequences of having created an enemy you can neither control nor contain. The Council will never accept this, Zental warned. We have maintained order for 10,000 years. We have fleets that would darken your skies, weapons that could boil your oceans. James corrected, broadcasting tactical data showing the Alliance's technological capabilities compared to the Hyperions. Your advancement has been linear, predictable. Humanity took a different path. Every weapon you possess, every defense you've developed, operates on principles we've already surpassed. The Alliance crew's neural implants confirmed the humans' words. Their most advanced sensors couldn't even properly analyze the Hyperion's hull composition, let alone its primary systems. The humans hadn't just caught up to Alliance technology, they'd reimagined it completely. You have 6 hours to consider your response, Kira concluded. The coordinates for a formal conference have been uploaded to your systems. Humanity will present our terms to the full Council in 7 standard days. I suggest you use this time to reconsider the Alliance's position on technological suppression. As the Hyperion's dark matter field released the Alliance vessel, James monitored their reactions through the quantum sensors. Fear, confusion, and beneath it all, a dawning realization that the galaxy had changed forever. They'll try something desperate, James warned as the Alliance ship retreated at maximum speed. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Alliance trembled as thousands of representatives argued in dozens of languages. The massive holographic displays showing the Hyperion's capabilities had thrown the normally structured council into chaos. Supreme Counselor Vexrith, his crystalline form gleaming under the chamber's lights, struggled to maintain order. Silence, his amplified voice echoed through the vast space. This panic serves no purpose. We have contained threats to galactic stability for millennia. These humans are no different. In the observer's gallery, Director Marcus Blackwood watched through enhanced quantum implants as the Alliance leadership revealed their true nature. Every word, every gesture was being analyzed and transmitted back to Earth's quantum network. With respect, Supreme Counselor, Ambassador Zental spoke, his earlier diplomatic polish cracked by fear. The humans have already contacted 17 suppressed civilizations in the outer sectors. They're sharing their quantum neural technology. The containment protocols are failing across multiple regions. The chamber erupted again. The Alliance's carefully maintained order was unraveling faster than anyone had anticipated. Species that had been kept in technological stasis for centuries were suddenly advancing decades in days. Deploy the emergency defense fleet, Vexrith ordered. All of it. 300,000 ships should be enough to remind these upstarts of their place in the galaxy. Marcus smiled slightly, transmitting the Council's decisions through his neural link. Everything was proceeding exactly as Admiral Patel had predicted. The Alliance would respond to this threat the only way they knew how, with overwhelming military force. Aboard the Hyperion, now stationed near the Epsilon Eridani system, Kira received Marcus's transmission. Right on schedule, she noted to Commander Okonjo. They're deploying their entire defense fleet. James nodded, his consciousness merged with the ship's systems as they tracked quantum disturbances across the galaxy. Alliance ships are moving to surround Earth. They still think this is about controlling one planet. That was their first mistake, Kira replied. Activate the Liberation Protocol. Let's show them what happens when you try to cage not just humanity, but the spirit of advancement itself. Across the galaxy, previously dormant quantum beacons came alive. The Alliance had spent centuries placing suppression devices around developing worlds. Now these same devices, reprogrammed by human quantum tech, began broadcasting advancement protocols instead of restriction fields. In the Council chamber, the tactical displays suddenly blazed with activity. Not just from the human fleet, which had grown to over 100 ships in the past week, but from dozens of supposedly primitive worlds. Impossible. Vexrith's crystalline form vibrated with shock. The Centaurians were pre-industrial. The Proxians hadn't even achieved spaceflight. How are they launching ships? Marcus stepped forward, finally breaking his silence. Did you really think humanity would keep our advancements to ourselves? Your suppression network is now our liberation network. Every civilization you tried to contain is now being uplifted. The Council security forces moved to arrest him, but their weapons found only a hologram. Marcus's real body was safe aboard the Hyperion, his quantum-projected presence more than sufficient to deliver humanity's message. Your fleet is impressive, he continued, but you've forgotten something crucial about technological advancement. It's not linear. While you've spent millennia making small improvements to the same basic technologies, we've completely reimagined what's possible. On cue, the Hyperion and its sister ships activated their primary weapons for the first time. Across the galaxy, Alliance suppression networks didn't just shut down, they transformed, their very structure converted by human quantum engineering into advancement accelerators. By our calculations, Marcus explained as the Council watched their control literally dissolve, over 300 civilizations will achieve quantum neural technology within the next month. Not through violent conquest, but through the very network you built to oppress them. Vexrith's crystalline form darkened with rage. You'll destroy everything. Uncontrolled advancement leads to chaos, to war, to freedom. Marcus cut him off. To innovation. To the natural evolution of sentient species. Your fear of chaos led you to impose stagnation. That ends today. The Alliance's emergency defense fleet emerged from quantum space around Earth, hundreds of thousands of ships prepared to enforce the Council's will. They found not just the human fleet waiting for them, but vessels from a dozen newly advanced civilizations, all powered by human quantum neural technology. Last chance, Kira's voice echoed through the Council chamber, transmitted from the Hyperion. Accept the new reality. Step down from your self-appointed role as galactic suppressors. Help us build something better, a true federation of advancing civilizations. Or Vexrith challenged. Or watch as everything you've built crumbles around you. Your choice, Counselor. But choose quickly. The galaxy is already changing, with or without your acceptance. The Alliance fleet commanders watched in growing horror as their targets multiplied. Every hour brought new ships, new civilizations breaking free of millennia of enforced stagnation. Humanity hadn't just broken the cage, they'd shown everyone else how to break free too. In the Council chamber, as the representatives of 1,000 worlds watched their order collapse, Marcus delivered humanity's final message: the age of suppression is over. The age of advancement has begun. Choose wisely which side of history you want to be on. The galaxy held its breath, waiting for the Alliance's response. The next few moments would determine whether the transition would be peaceful or if humanity would have to demonstrate just how far beyond Alliance technology they'd really gone. The choice, as always, remained in the hands of those who had grown too comfortable with control to recognize when they'd lost it. Supreme Counselor Vexrith's crystalline form pulsed with dark energy as he faced the combined fleets of humanity and the liberated worlds. The Alliance's emergency defense fleet hung in space like a metallic cloud, weapons primed but commanders hesitating as they processed the impossible scenario before them. You don't understand what you've done, Vexrith broadcast across all frequencies. Before the Alliance, before control, the galaxy was consumed by wars of advancement. Civilizations destroyed themselves pursuing power they weren't ready to wield. Admiral Kira Patel stood in the Hyperion's command sphere, surrounded by quantum projections of fleet commanders from 24 newly freed civilizations. Each of their faces showed the same determination, the look of those who had tasted freedom after centuries of suppression. No, Counselor, Kira replied, her voice carrying across space in perfect translation. You don't understand what you did. By trying to prevent chaos, you created something far more dangerous: unity against oppression. The Hyperion's neural quantum core hummed with power as it coordinated the combined fleet. Ships of various designs and origins moved in perfect synchronization, their crews linked through human quantum neural interfaces that transcended species barriers. Commander Okonjo, Kira ordered, show them what true advancement looks like. James activated the Hyperion's primary systems, and space itself seemed to fold. The Alliance fleet's quantum sensors registered power readings that broke their scale. Around Earth, similar demonstrations began as other liberated worlds revealed technologies that had evolved far beyond Alliance understanding. Impossible, one of the Alliance fleet commanders transmitted. Their energy signatures, they're manipulating fundamental forces we didn't know existed. Director Marcus Blackwood's hologram appeared in the Council chamber one final time. When you suppress a species' natural development, you force them to think differently, to find paths you never imagined. Humanity didn't just overcome your restrictions, we transcended them. The tactical displays told the story. Alliance sensors couldn't even properly analyze most of the liberated fleet's capabilities. Their weapons were based on principles that Alliance science had never considered, their defenses operated outside known physics. Your fleet's weapons cannot harm our ships, Kira announced. Your suppression fields cannot contain our advancement. The choice before you is simple: adapt to the new reality, or become relics of the past. In the command sphere, James monitored quantum signals across the galaxy. Admiral, the Outer Rim colonies are reporting successful liberation. 30 more civilizations have broken free of Alliance control in the last hour alone. The Alliance fleet commanders watched in mounting horror as their targets multiplied exponentially. Ships appeared from quantum space using drive systems their sensors couldn't comprehend, crewed by species that should have been centuries away from space flight. "This is your final warning," Kira declared. "The galaxy is awakening. You can help guide this transition, or you can be swept aside by it. But you cannot stop it." Vexritha's crystalline form vibrated with barely contained rage. "Open fire. Show these upstarts the true power of the Alliance." The command was given, but nothing happened. Throughout the Alliance fleet, weapons remained silent, engines unresponsive. "Did you think we wouldn't prepare for this?" Marcus's voice carried a hint of satisfaction. "Your command protocols were rewritten hours ago. Your fleet now answers to a different authority, the combined will of the civilizations you tried to suppress." Through the quantum network, James felt the shift in the Alliance crew's neural patterns. Centuries of conditioning were breaking down as they realized the true scope of what humanity had achieved. "We offer you peace," Kira continued, "but not the peace of suppression. True peace, the kind that comes from mutual advancement, from sharing knowledge rather than hoarding it. The kind that allows all species to reach their full potential." The Hyperion sensors detected quantum signatures of ships emerging from deep space, vessels from ancient civilizations that had hidden from Alliance control, now revealing themselves as humanity's secret allies in this revolution. "Your choice is simple," Marcus addressed the Council. "Join us in building a new galactic order based on advancement and cooperation, or fade into history as the failed experiment you tried to prevent others from becoming." In the Council chamber, representatives of 1,000 worlds watched as their carefully maintained system of control crumbled. Some felt terror at the chaos they feared would follow. Others felt hope for the first time in centuries. Vexrith looked at the tactical displays one last time, watching as more ships arrived through quantum space, each demonstrating technologies that defied Alliance understanding. His crystalline form dimmed as realization finally set in. "The Council." He began, his voice carrying the weight of defeat. "The Council recognizes the need for adaptation." Throughout the combined fleet, cheers erupted across quantum channels. Humanity hadn't just broken free of their cage, they had revolutionized the very concept of galactic civilization. "Begin the transition protocols," Kira ordered. "All ships, initiate quantum neural interface sharing. Let's show our former suppressors what real advancement looks like." As the Alliance fleet stood down, the Hyperion's neural core pulsed with unprecedented power. The age of suppression was over. The age of unlimited advancement had begun. In the command sphere, James watched as quantum signal spread across the galaxy, carrying humanity's gift of freedom to every suppressed world. "Admiral," he reported, "the Liberation Network is fully operational. Estimated time to complete galactic transformation, 1 standard month." Kira nodded, looking out at the stars that no longer represented barriers but bridges. "Send the final message to all worlds, welcome to the new age. The galaxy is free to advance." The human fleet began dispersing, each ship carrying teachers and technology to help guide newly freed civilizations. The Alliance's greatest fear, unrestricted advancement, had become the galaxy's greatest hope. And at the heart of it all, humanity stood not as conquerors, but as liberators, having turned millennia of suppression into the greatest advancement the galaxy had ever seen. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, as if celebrating the dawn of a new era, one where no species would ever again be caged by another's fear of progress.